Blastoff Comics San Diego 2012. We're here with Ron Lim, the man who created space for Marvel. I mean, all for a very definitive time in comics. Great to have you. Thank you very much for spending time with us.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
So, okay, here we are. Everybody loves the Avengers.
Right,
The
right.
explosion happens again. I'm in the movie theater with my daughter,
Right.
little girl. We get to the end, we wait after the credits. Who's the purple guy?
I don't know. Who was that?
Yeah. So now this whole thing is like blown up again.
Yeah.
Everybody runs for, Infinity Gauntlet. It sells out. It's out of print.
Right.
How's that feel for you?
It feels good. I mean, it's stuff that I worked on, years ago that it's coming back again. It's pretty amazing. I mean, this has been reprinted, since then, but it's but now it's taking a whole new life again at the Sony, which is I'm surprised myself. I mean, I never saw it coming. I was like, we're done with that, Yeah.
Did you realize that a lot of these booths have your covers out there for like, this is $50 now?
Really? I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
It's really cool. We have like iconic covers.
Should have saved more copies.
Yeah, you got some in your closet.
Yeah, maybe a few.
So back then, when you were doing, the space opera type stuff, was that your passion, or did it just sort of fall into your lap and you're like, well, I'm gonna run with this because I'm...
No, growing up, my favorite stuff was always the science fiction stuff. The Fantastic Four was my first comic. Well, my first superhero comic, I should say.
Okay.
So that was after, reading like, Hot Stuff and,
What was that? Do you remember
Casper.
what the first comic was?
Yeah, it was a Fantastic Four 121. And then fighting a nihilist, right?
Right.
I was like, what kind of comic is this? This is not Casper. And so I started, I asked, for more and more of those. So my parents would buy that for me. I'd read them. And so Surfer was one of my favorite characters back then. When I was a kid, I was like, I love the Surfer because he's a space character, that kind of thing. And so when I got the Surfer, I was like, man, this is just too cool. I literally can't pick a favorite, a better comic to work on, really.
Do you remember where you got that first comic?
You mean the Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
My dad worked at a supermarket, so he bought it home for me. Yeah, like right off the newsstand.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We talked to a lot of people, and the overall theme of people, when they're kids,
Right.
Supermarkets, pharmacies, magazine stands,
Right.
real stuff where, hey, there's no comic store.
No, yeah, totally. Yeah.
It was like I had to really work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so growing up, you're reading these comics, you're really into space, you're really into that kind of thing. You decide you want to be an artist.
Right. Yeah. I couldn't decide. I love comics and I love the animation. So I went, Disney was the other thing. I was like, I'd love to work as an animator in Disney, But I think the comics was just more of a passion for me because I like the superheroes and stuff, as opposed to drawing, the cartoon animal kind of thing. I'm like, I'll try for comics. So I kind of leaned more towards that when I was going to college and stuff like that.
So did you go to school for art?
Yes, I majored in graphic arts.
Uh-huh.
But I was doing comics samples on the side every night. So I do my whole Sac State.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did that. And so as I was going to school, I'd work on the comic stuff at night after I did my homework or whatever, assignments I had. So it was crazy. So I just sit at home and draw, then samples in, And then finally at WonderCon, the very first WonderCon, Tom DeFalco, the editor-in-chief, and so him and Mark Grunwald were there. They said, I brought my portfolio to show them. They said, after years of rejection, they said, here, why don't, we'll give you a try. If you can turn out this story within a certain amount of time, we'll maybe give you more work. I was like, finally, So I was like, I couldn't believe it myself.
So what was the first thing?
It's a Black Panther short story.
Nice.
So I drew Black. and it didn't
talk about outer space.
I know, yeah. It's the opposite, but they didn't print it for years. But so when they finally printed it, I'd already been on Surfer for like 5 years. I'm like, uh-oh.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of people that influence sport as far as I can see.
Yeah.
Who do you think, for you personally, was the biggest
Well,
influence?
it's funny because Starlin was my biggest influence, right? So when I worked with him on Surfer, that was like a dream come true. And he's a great guy. He's probably one of my favorite guys I've ever worked with. Yeah. So Starlin was one. Also John Byrne. Because the very first comic that I picked up of his, I really like the Star-Lord, which is bizarre. It's like of all the ones I picked up, the Star-Lord's the one I like. So yeah, it's science fiction again too, right? So I picked up that. George Perez, obviously. Yeah, I mean, the usual guys.
You can see Perez in your work.
Oh, really? Think so? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love all those guys and stuff.
It's detailed, so heavily detailed. Your work is the lines are very specific.
Oh, thanks.
So now, I see that you're doing some new stuff,
Right.
New stuff from Marvel and stuff. You think your style has changed? Are you keeping it consistent? Are your lines opening up? I mean,
Yeah, I'm always trying to improve. I mean, I'm never satisfied with the work, So, I mean, people keep telling me it's changed. I myself can't see it as much. Obviously, I'm doing it myself, But I'm just trying to keep it, improve the detail and the storytelling. For me, I mean, storytelling is just as much of an important part of it as the actual drawing itself to me. So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm trying to improve. I mean, I'm hoping I'm improving, but hopefully the fans will know what to tell me. But I don't know. I'm not objective,
What are you looking forward to most now? What you're working on now? And it doesn't have to be like comics and shit.
Right.
You could be working on something else.
Yeah, well, I mean, the comics obviously I love, but I've been doing more with like video game stuff lately, which is a lot of. And I'm working on a new Marvel Heroes game right now.
Like designing stuff?
No, I'm actually doing the cutscenes.
Okay.
So it's great. I mean, so it's still comic art, but it's actually moving and stuff like that on the screen. So I love that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
it's new territory for me, though.
But you like the digital process.
Yeah. I mean, it's a whole. Yeah, I mean, seeing it in motion with sound and stuff is just amazing. I mean, that's the other thing. If I lived in the LA area, I mean, I'd probably be in movies because I love movies so much,
Right.
So I mean, I'd probably be doing storyboarding and some of that kind of stuff. But since I don't live near LA, it's the next best thing,
Have you ever wanted to do creator-owned work, or have you just said, I work for companies?
Yeah, I have tried it in the past a couple of times, and I do really enjoy it. And I still want to do creator-owned stuff, but I love the characters. I mean, that's why I got into comics.
Yeah.
So I mean, so for me, joining the Marvel, DC, whatever characters, I just love those characters. So for me, it's a lot of fun.
Man, it's great talking to you.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really appreciate you letting
It was
us
great
sit
meeting
down.
you. Yeah.
It's like back to outer space.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate it.
Oh no,
man.
anytime,
We'll
man.
Get to see you again and
Oh,
talk
yeah.
to you again soon.
For sure.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.